website.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Ross Patterson Revolution! Brought to you by BlackRifleCoffee.com.
Girl.
Boy.
Girl.
Boy.
Girl. Girl.
You listen to me.
Baby girl.
No.
Oh, boy.
I would take it off just to make that stop and kill myself.
For those of you watching the video show right now on YouTube or iTunes, we're birdboxing it today.
We've taken the challenge.
Yep, we got the Birdbox challenge going on. I'm blindfolded. You're blindfolded, and we're gonna see how long we can actually get through a show.
Now I can go through a whole one because I don't Google.
Yeah, this is gonna be weird for you because
you
don't use an actual physical computer for anything whatsoever. So
this show is gonna be a lot of, what was the name of that guy? And then you're going to have to really think about it like back in the day where we would have to be like, oh, it's going to come to me.
Oh, it's
I
weird.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is strange, by the way. I'm grabbing for the microphone trying to figure out where it is.
Right. You can kind of see, the bird box where it's like,
I can't see. Can you see?
No, I folded mine quite tight, but on theirs they could see. I mean, there was a little bit of light coming through.
Yeah, I can't see anything, which is fine. I like the fact that Netflix had to issue a public service announcement yesterday.
Yeah,
saying,
they had to
stop
address
doing
it.
This.
Yeah, they had to address it. Well, they were just like, be safe. We don't want anything. We're so excited that you like the show. And then they kind of threw in a little boy and girl would like you to stay safe. And we don't want any, we don't want this movie to hurt people.
Well, you were the one that was showing me the videos that people were doing the Birdbox challenge with newborns and shit, and they were getting bashed into walls, like parents were bashing them into walls.
People were
because they couldn't see anything.
Getting hurt, yeah. And they were, and as a whole, we just have to realize that people are stupid.
Yeah.
And they are, as a whole, they are dumb. And so you start some kind of challenge like this, Tide Pod, Kiki, what have you.
Sure.
The majority, I mean, maybe is it minority or majority that is stupid? I'm not sure.
Majority. I'd say majority. I remember the Kiki challenge one, and
I mean, people getting run over by cars.
They were getting crushed by cars.
The doors hitting them and they're falling, and then,
yeah.
And Tide Pod, I don't even really want to address
I love Tide Pod.
That.
I was a big fan of that one. That one was Darwinism just kind of sorting its way out. So, if you died from that, you were dumb enough that, hey, you thought eating a Tide Pod would be a fun thing.
Right. Right.
So I don't like the Tide Pod one. I don't mind. I don't mind the ones where people are just sorting out who should be left on this earth. I don't mind that. For example, I saw this one on Barstool Sports, which I follow on Instagram. They've got a great Instagram. Not too crazy about their podcast lineup, but they got a really good Instagram. They had a post yesterday that they had two that were really, really strong. One was, why do white people need to almost die to feel alive? And it was a guy on one of those. It's not a kite. It looks like a parachute, like paragliding, like parasailing, that type of parachute.
Right.
Where you're just like, what are you going to do with that? Like, he's running down the side of this mountain and you pull it, you're pulling it with sides like right to left.
It is true.
And he was like maybe 2 feet above the mountain and rocks, and he was going through crevasses as he was gliding down this mountain at crazy speeds, where you're like, man, that guy's probably going 90 miles an hour, just barely missing rocks by like 3 to 5 feet, but by his own accord. So it's not like he was trying to go higher. He was going lower on purpose.
Liking to, yes.
It was almost, and there was somebody following him with a camera. And I guess that was the whole point of it, was to grab this sweet vid for Instagram.
Right.
But all I kept thinking was, man, you were just 1 to 2 feet left of just ending your life for an Instagram video.
Now, if he bird boxed.
Yeah, now that would be impressive.
Well, now
obviously.
then I would be impressed.
Yeah, but you can't do that. So, even doing it without bird boxing yourself seemed to be impossible. And it's just like, cool. That was a one-time party trick that got, 3 or 4 million views. Now this guy's probably going to do it again. And I would say the odds are not in his favor of him living longer than 2 more years.
Right.
And I don't mind that, because when you watch the video, you're like, that idiot deserved to die. Sorry about it.
Yeah. It's a lot of that.
Yeah. The guy who tried to race the train.
Yeah.
He was shooting a homemade YouTube energy drink commercial where I'm faster than the train. And look, I know I've heard stories that he was a good dude, and I think he was like ex-military as well. But in what world do you think that's a smart idea for you to race a train like on the tracks?
Yeah.
Even if you are faster, something can go wrong, which it did. He tripped, and the fucking train ran over.
Oh my
it's like, man, you've got to start looking at shit like that. You ever done something dumb in your life where you're like, that should have ended my life, and then you never did it again?
Yeah.
We all have.
Yeah.
And that's the point. Like, oh boy, it's just when you keep doing it over and over again is when you're like, all right, maybe it's time for you to go.
Yeah.
Like the guy in the parachute. The other guy that, boy, we talked about this on Drinking Bros yesterday, was the guy with the tattoo on his chest. Jose.
What?
He wrote in looks like a normal paragraph. It was a tattoo on his chest. He said, I, Jose blank blank, whatever his name was. Obviously we're Birdbox, so I can't read off his name on the computer. But he goes, am voluntarily getting this tattoo on January 2nd, 2019, because of the pain and suffering I've caused my wife in our marriage. And he said, I am a liar. I am a cheater. I am a misogynist. I am a whore lover / prostitute lover. But it said whore lover, which I'm a big, big fan of that term.
Oh, yeah.
Huge fan of the term whore lover.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this is something that his wife had screamed at him.
Well, she said, this is what you're going to have to do if you want to.
It's a full
get back
chest tattoo on his chest. All of this paragraph that I just said to you out loud is a full paragraph on his chest from nipple to belly button.
No.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
I don't believe in that kind of stuff.
Weird, right?
That's the marriage should be ended. If you are going to work it out, fine, right?
So,
but that kind of stuff is not going to fix.
Again, we brought this up on Drinking Bros, and the reason being is I asked you is I wanted a female's answer from this. Like, he doesn't get that girl back from that, right?
He probably. Do you think he was trying to get her back, or that was something that I don't know?
Yeah, he's trying to win her back. I mean, how do you get that tattoo?
No,
a full paragraph. On your
you
chest?
never know. Here's the thing: I have to stop thinking that people are smarter than they are.
Yes.
So I was gonna say, no way, dude.
Yeah.
No way. Does she go back with him? But that may not be the case.
Once you get over
that works a lot of the time. Things like that work a lot of the time, and people stay in stuff like that.
Once you get over that hurdle in your life, James, it's going to make the rest of your world easier.
When I start realizing that people are mostly dumb and not mostly smart and good, which is the way I do think of people.
I've actually changed the way I talk to people over the years. I try to simplify it for them. Mm-hmm. So instead of saying yes or no to answers, I will say, just in case they misheard me or just are so dumb, I've changed it to correct. Is this adjective? That's correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct. Incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
Correct. Instead of yes or no, because people still fuck up things.
Yeah.
And that way it's just a very sharp, direct answer to things where it's like, correct. And that way there's no confusion going forward whatsoever, because I've assumed that everyone is dumb. And even though I talk to them as being dumb, at the end of whatever conversation I'm having, whether you're taking a food order or something by phone, at the end of it, I'm always polite and say, hey, thank you for your time or the day, or I appreciate it, or I'll see you soon. Something upbeat. So that way, maybe they didn't think I was a cocksucker before by saying all that, you know?
Right.
But I've always assumed I would say this started maybe 7-8 years ago, that everybody's dumb. And it's kind of made my life easier.
That's cool. I wish I was dumb. Dumber. I'm not super smart. We've had this conversation. This is weird, with the
blindfold.
With the blindfold, your mind goes.
Yeah.
It's like I can't focus on your stories. All I'm thinking, I was thinking about this last night. Some people take an Ambien, a Xanax, right?
Yeah.
This is going to be totally off subject.
Sure.
But that's what happens with the blindfold. Because you're just like, you really are just in your own weird world and your eyes are closed.
Yes.
So it's like you start getting into dream things you think about before bed.
And if you're listening to this show, just the audio portion, not watching the video portion, for real, we cannot see. This flip over to the video on YouTube.
And I'm very... So... Did you ever go to raves? Did you rave a little bit?
Oh, yeah.
Everyone had a rave.
We all had a rave. I would say that rave sitch lasted about 3 years.
Yeah, but a rave... God, I can't even think of the fucking word. Anyway, so you had a couple years of raving.
This blindfold's really affecting you, James.
It's really getting into my head. I want to just look and end it all.
Yeah, no.
Do you know what I mean? But I know if I look, I end it all.
Yes.
And there's going to be a point where I might just have to walk in front of the truck.
It's been.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. Bare naked ladies.
Anyways,
if you take off your blindfold, bare naked ladies are going to be in front of you.
Did you ever hear, hush, did you ever hear about not dropping in line? You don't ever, if you're going to, do acid, ecstasy, whatever, you never drop said drug in the line waiting to get in, no matter how close you are to the front.
Yes.
You've heard of this?
Yes.
It's a rule, right?
Yeah.
Of raving. Because you never know at any moment, because it's all so illegal, any moment it could be shut down and then you're stuck rolling in line, basically. Now you have to get into your car, whatever.
Yeah, you're tripping balls, which has happened.
To
you?
To a group of,
Okay.
To our group before. But I was thinking about, when you take your Xanax or your Ambien, you can't drop before it's you're totally ready to go to bed, because you never know what weird mishap with your family or what car can get stuck in the hair. Do you know what I mean? You have to be fully everyone asleep, everyone good before you take that.
Sure.
Ambien.
And where was this conversation going, James?
It was just in my head before I was going to sleep. I thought...
Why, did you take Xanax last night?
No. God, I wanted to, but I don't have that
luxury.
I don't have the luxury yet to be able to do that again. But I was just thinking that, gosh, if you start, you're getting stuff ready and you kind of take your whatever Ambien and then what? Something happens, right? A kid falls out of the bunk bed and breaks his arm or whatever, and you're having to go to the hospital, deal with it, on Ambien.
Sure.
Why? I don't know.
I'm really glad you brought this up. For no other reason than to fully know that with a blindfold on, you are useless in this world. Just absolutely.
I just think of dumb stuff like that.
Like me, I feel all right. Because we do have headphones on, so I can hear you. I know the microphone is in front of my mouth, so I can physically talk to you and I can hear you clearly. So I'm fine with it. So fine that I'm going to do the sponsors like this. First of all,
what year did Robin Hood with Kevin Costner come out?
1987.
87?
Probably. Why?
I'm just wondering. Surrey.
The blindfold, James, is really
Surrey. What year did Robin Hood with Kevin Costner come out?
There's no way, sir.
I don't know when Robin Hood was released.
You're fucked. You're dead. You're dead. I thought Surrey was going to be the loophole.
Surrey's never been able to answer a question.
Sorry, I don't know when Robin Hood was released.
Nope. Surrey's never been able to answer a question.
That's nowhere in the internet.
You know what's funny, man? I've had Apple products for
Jesus.
I would say the better part of my adult life, 15 years. So I've never used Surrey. I tried it in the early days. Never understood one sentence I've ever said. So I'm good. I actually turned it off on my phone. I have that new fucking bullshit. We've talked about this, the $1,500 phone, because I need storage for production. Yeah, but like this isn't even a cool story. I don't even use Surrey on that motherfucker because it doesn't work. All right, let's get to the sponsors, shall we? Yeah, I'm trying to take a drink and I can't see. I'm fucking Birdbox.
I'm going to spill my coffee.
Boy.
NyQuil's another one that will go in that category of not dropping.
Yeah.
NyQuil.
You add that to Xanax. Congratulations.
Don't take NyQuil until everyone's tucked in and sleeping because
you're heading to Z-Town.
You're heading to Z-Town. You don't want to drop in line. We had to drive home.
Yeah. Yeah, you did.
I mean, just tripping. I mean,
again,
we ran into the like median, like on the freeway. It was scary shit.
I'm sure. We have some sponsors though who actually pay for the show to
because
be on
we
the
are
air.
Birdbox, so they get it, right? Do we have to? No, just go.
BlackRifleCoffee.com is our chief sponsor for all of 2019. BRCC will start off your morning. Look, even if you are Birdboxed, they're still drinking coffee in that movie. You can't live in a post-apocalyptic world without coffee. So it'll be here forever. You might as well load up now. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Get your K-cups, bags, whatever you need in this life to keep it right, keep it tight, and keep it going all night. Go to blackriflecoffee.com. Use the one-time promo code of REVOLUTION for 20% off. Use it on the Coffee Club of the Month program. It's the best thing on the planet. I love it more than life itself. And it gets delivered to your house same date of every single month. Why? It's a veteran-owned company, and those motherfuckers don't miss, dude. That's why veterans just do shit better. I'm only starting to like use and buy like veteran-owned products and companies now because I know it's going to be there on time. I know that's shitty, but fuck it. Even as a civilian, I'm not even supporting other civilians. Who gives a fuck? Next up, we've got ghostbed.com/drinking bros. Another company, man. Ghostbed, like all of everybody in the company, their family was military and all that jazz. And that's why their fucking mattresses and all that shit are amazing. They're the guys who invented the company. And it's probably why everybody raves about their shit. It's efficient. It's fast. Gets shipped to you in a box. And all you have to do is pop it open. 3 hours later, you're good to go for the sleep of your life. And their pillows are amazing. And one of the things about Birdboxing during a show, in particular with a product like Ghostbed, is you really, really don't need to see. You don't need to see to fuck. You just need to find that hole. Find that hole at ghostbed.com/drinking bros. And sign up for their deals. All of their Christmas deals are still active right now. So the bundle packages are massive, like $500 to $700 off, $300 off a free mattress. I mean, on a mattress, and you get free pillows. It's amazing. Ghostbed.com/drinking bros. Pay as you go program. No interest for 36 months. No other company is doing that on the planet. Next up, we got StrikeForceEnergy.com. Nothing out of you, James. No, boom, 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 boom.
It's making me tired.
The blindfold?
My eyes are closed. I'm listening to your bullshit voice.
Give me a little boom, 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 boom. There we go.
Boom, 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 shabloinkers.
I wonder how this show's going to be for the audio listeners.
Not great.
Versus the video.
Not great.
Versus, if you're watching the video, probably going to be the greatest podcast of all time.
I don't know. I don't know about any of it. I don't know if anyone's going to like it. It's weird, guys. Don't do it. I'm really getting into my head, and I'm getting nauseous, to be honest. I do get quite seasick, motion sickness. I'm not moving, but for some reason, I feel, and now I know I need to see.
Don't
I
you?
just need to see.
Don't take it off.
I'm not going to, but it's...
You know the rules. Bare naked ladies are going to start playing in front of you.
It's been
1
week
since you had Strike Force. Go to strikeforceenergy.com for amazing flavors. Talking about original orange, lemon, and Make America Grape Again. They get a 10-pack, a 40-pack, and a 750-milliliter bottle. The rest on your bar top or countertop, so you can just boom, boom, pop a couple squirts in and go. Kick the can. You don't need the can anymore. It's new year, new you. No carbs and sugars. So if you're on a diet and you're just drinking water and you're tired of drinking water and you feel like you're crashing, let's face it, that's what happens most of the time. This is what you need for your waters to keep you going, or your LaCroix. Go to strikeforceenergy.com. Type in the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. That's good every time, and they ship everywhere around the entire world. By the way, the new Post Malone song, Jessie, is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
It's number 1 in the country right now. He just dropped it as a single. It's not part of an album or anything.
Right.
But he is the first rapper. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't really classify him as a full rapper, but this song is rap where he uses LaCroix in it.
Really?
Yeah. He goes, having a lot of vodka and some LaCroix. A lot of vodka and some LaCroix. Okay. The way he says it, I'm like, oh, shit, dude. Did it again. Posty. Did it again.
You love him so much. I'm looking for chapstick on my...
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Next up, we got straightrazors.com.
Ooh, that's a clean cut. Where's my mic? There's a clean cut smooth. Are you right, kid?
Oh, God. I don't know if you could feel the microphone or not, but that was awful. That sounded awful in my ears. Straightrazors.com is it's the official razors of Asia.
I almost knocked my coffee over, you guys.
Don't start sipping coffee. You can't keep a full cup of coffee standing with sight, let alone without sight.
Oh, you want to fight? You want a Birdbox fight?
No. I'm just saying, don't attempt it.
Don't fucking come for me while I'm Birdboxed.
Don't.
We're in this shit together, friend. Okay, we start turning on each other, and that is death. Listen to me. Listen to my voice. Okay? If we turn against each other, we die. If you don't let me drink coffee, you die. All right, boy.
All right, girl. Straightrazors.com is the official razors for Asians everywhere. That's why Jessie does it at the top. Some of their biggest sellers are in Asia. And look, Asia's always ahead of our culture.
You'll be as smooth as an Asian's face.
Oh, there it is. That's a good one. Yeah, you'll be as smooth as an Asian. They're hairless.
Yeah, they're hairless and blatant disregard for anyone around them. What?
Straight razors will help you get that Asian smoothness to you. Finest razors on the planet. If you're worried about using a straight razor, they got a safety razor. Also, their aftershave's the best in the business, man, for real. Smolder, use it every day. I didn't shave the last few days, though. Mustache is coming off soon, but I want to thank them for their mustache wax, their beard oils, all that shit. This has helped tame this beast. Somebody wrote in on the YouTube channel and just said, man, if you walked into the Magnum PI reboot office today with his mustache, they would fire Jay Hernandez and let you be the new Magnum PI. And I was like, fuck yeah, they would have. They should have done that in the fucking first place. But they didn't. Anyways, if they had, I would have used straight razors on this bitch forever. Go to straightrazors.com. Get yourself a kit. Use the promo code REVOLUTION for 20% off. Last but not least, pick up my books. When darkness falls, he doesn't catch it. And at night she cries while he rides his steed. The first ever and second ever romance novels for dudes. Also, the Audible's the funniest shit of all time. It's full cast members and all that shit. Sounds like a movie. The last one is the #1 rated Audible book out of like 4 or 5 million books. And it's me and Jables. And Jables, I made Jables play all the Asian parts. So it's 6.5 hours of magic apiece.
With me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. How you birdboxed over there? You feeling good?
No.
Why not?
I don't know. I'm feeling nauseous. It's weird to not be able to see.
What's weird about that statement is this. You played a blind woman in a movie. You played Helen Keller. And you had to wear... What, contact? You had to wear contacts,
I had to wear
right?
contacts that made things blurry.
But you could still see,
I
kind
could
of.
still see, kind of.
Okay. How was that for you?
What? How was that?
Yeah, how was that process? Were you able to take them out, or... Is the weird part about it is, and this is for the audience, because obviously I wrote and directed that. You starred in it, but I'm busy doing my shit, so like I wasn't in the trailer with you or the makeup room or anything, so I didn't know what you went through, to be honest with you. It was hard. You could take them out.
You could take them out. I mean, it was hard because I don't wear contacts or anything like that. I have perfect, not to brag, perfect vision. So
you always brag about that.
Well, it's the one thing I have going for me that I can see real good. Can't hear so good. Not super smart, but I can definitely see the shit out of people and things. But so I don't put anything in my eyes. So it would itch. It was crazy. It didn't feel good. It would hurt. It was definitely a process. And they were whole eye contacts, which, when you wear contacts if you need them every day, they just kind of go on the colored part of your eye. Yeah. These go over your whole eye, if that makes sense.
Oof.
Yeah.
I know Alana had trouble with those because she came up to me after one night of shooting.
Yeah, dude, she had to go. She got some kind of infection or something. I don't know.
I don't know. Me personally, I've never worn contacts, and my vision is pretty close to perfect, like good enough.
Not
where
as
it's
good
like,
as mine,
I don't. Yeah, exactly. I don't squint. I needed glasses at one point in my life for like 7th and 8th grade, I think, but then my vision improved. Yeah, and I didn't have to wear them after that. Like, it was strange. So when I went through that, I had the option of getting contacts, and I could not. I can't. I'm one of those people. I can't touch my eyeball. I don't like it. I don't like being able to touch my eyeball. I don't touch it in real life, and I don't like eye drops. Yeah. At all. I don't like anything going into my eye, any liquid or. You've got a lot of things, huh? What else do I have?
Your hair, very sensitive.
I don't. Yeah, my head is. So I don't like it being pulled
at all.
No,
even the tiniest bit.
Nope.
Needles.
Yes, you're right. You're right. I don't like I don't like getting shots at the doctor's office. You're correct. All right, so that's 3.
Dishes.
What about dishes?
You don't. I don't know. You have a thing against them? Against doing them?
No, that's just because that's
taking out the trash. You have this weird thing.
I always take out the trash. Fuck off.
You don't always take it out.
I do. I always take out the trash.
You will push that last thing down in there.
No.
To where I'm like, okay, but anyway, yeah. So what else? Heights? Do you have heights?
I do. You're right. I do have. I don't like heights.
You have a lot of things.
That's 4. Look, that's 4 things.
Name one thing that I have. Eyebrows.
Oof.
Don't push my eyebrows the other way.
Yep. You don't like your eyebrow. That's a weird one. You don't like your eyebrows being touched at all. Any.
Guys, if you
I mean, literally
going along
physically touching them. You freak out.
Freak out.
Yeah. Obviously, yours is planes. Now you get sick.
Yeah, I'm not scared of it. It's just I don't want it to.
Weird.
I don't want it to happen.
Flight, 1 hour flight and you're sick.
Yeah. I don't want it to happen. It's not a fear of mine or a thing. It's just it just started happening.
I remember when we went to I took you to the Big Ten championship in Indianapolis, and you were like, "Man, I'm ready." Ooh, here's an interesting one. So as we're Birdbox, my phone is going off. No, it's yours, you
it's
fucking
mine.
idiots. Can you turn it off? That's the question. Can you find it and turn it off, Sandra Bullock?
Yeah.
Okay. Is your blindfold still on?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So when we get off the plane, the first flight, which is 40 minutes to Charlotte.
That's the worst because you go up, you're dealing with that, you're dealing with the turbulence, and then you go down. So you have no time to kind of level off and be like, okay, like breathe.
Yeah,
so it really is just like.
You were so excited for your first trip after the baby and all that shit. You would pack.
This is what happened
you getting
after
ready
Jax,
to go.
though, too.
Yeah, and then after the 40-minute flight, you push me out of the way, run out of the terminal and into the bathroom and just start heaving up your guts. And as soon as you walked out, what was the first thing I said to you? You're back.
She's
baby.
back, baby. Back. Yeah, I'm back.
Yeah, so you look. I think every human has their own weird things that they like. You can't go to sleep without earphones in for a podcast or something.
I need I need sleep crutches, if you will.
Yeah.
I do not fall asleep well just by myself.
The weirdest sleep crutch I've ever heard of in my life, which was a thing, and you were there for this, was our friend Richard Ryan, who works for Black Rifle Coffee.
Yep.
He can only sleep with a box fan on.
Mm-hmm, like a baby. White noise.
So in every place we've been, he'll have a box fan shipped to him from Amazon.
This is my first meeting.
A box fan's only about $19. So that's fine.
Oh, yeah.
That's fine, I guess. But man, that would freak me the fuck out. If I just like hotel rooms, there's no fans in hotel rooms.
No.
So what do? You take a box?
Shipped.
Oh my god!
You
to
have
the
it
hotel?
shipped. And let's be real about Richard Ryan's money sitch. He can definitely get box fans shipped.
Yeah. He can afford it.
Everywhere
he's doing well.
Yeah. Box fan in every place. Well, I mean, I don't know. Do you know what I mean?
Well, look,
that's the kind of level of money in the bank.
But here's the thing: if you're staying at like let's take a hotel in Vegas for example. Okay, now they're doing this thing where they're charging you a resort fee, and that's after you check in.
Right.
It averages between $36 and $40. So whenever you're buying your hotel off of Orbitz or whatever the fuck you're doing, and you buy it, no matter what, when you check in, sir, we're only gonna add this $83 as your resort fee, and you're like, oh fuck it.
Right.
So if you look at it in the grand scheme of things, a box fan's only $19, or you're paying a resort fee in Vegas for $83. So most everywhere in the world, Richard is fine. You know, you're getting free Wi-Fi, you're getting free parking. Like, $19 is $19 for that type of sitch. So at least you don't have any weird things like that, but you do go white noise it a lot with go to sleep. You got to go to sleep with something on.
Something to take
not
my
a television,
mind. Huh?
Not a television.
No,
either.
because that light is too much, so it has to be something. And I think a lot of people, from what I've heard, do this where it's like books on tape or something to, or like a meditation app or something to take your mind off of the day. Some people take Xanax, some people take Ambien, whatever. When you can't take that,
right?
When you have been kind of relying on crutches, like drinking until you pass out, which was mine, which I'm not allowed to, which I can't do anymore, really.
Yeah.
So I had to reprogram at a late stage in life of like finding other ways to go to sleep, and it has been hard. And then if I do find a podcast that is a little bit too interesting, that's not good either. It has to be
boring, right?
Boring. I'm re-listening to the serial Bergdahl thing.
Yeah.
Their season.
Bowe Bergdahl?
Yeah.
Sure.
So fucking weird. But and then there is a podcast called Sleep With Me, where it's just some guy rambling.
How deep did they go on the Bowe Bergdahl thing? I heard some horrific stories about him.
Pretty deep. I mean, they have 25 hours of him talking to this this director, the guy who did Hurt Locker and Zero Dark 30.
Catherine Bigelow.
Well, it's a guy, Mark something. He was either producer or director.
Oh, gotcha.
Whatever.
Gotcha.
Some other.
Because she directed Hurt Locker and Zero Dark.
And Zero Dark 30. So whoever is the other part of that, whether it's producer or something.
Okay.
Writer, I'm not sure. But he was wanting to do some kind of a movie like that in the vein of those. And so he has 25 hours of just them talking.
About Bowe Bergdahl wants to do this about his life?
The producer wanted to. So he contacted him because remember, Bowe wasn't doing anything, talking to anyone.
Sure.
It was really just a bunch of people outraged and talking about him. But he never, talked to an outlet or anything.
Sure.
So behind the scenes, he was talking to this guy. So they have a lot of just them just talking and kind of Joe Roganing it, where it's like after hour 3, you start to kind of open up and the guy's fucking weird.
Yeah.
He's just a fucking weirdo and he, made a huge mistake and whatever. But it's weird. Anyway, stuff like that where it's just kind of mundane.
Yeah, I mean, look, I've heard some insider stories on this, obviously.
Yeah, I know.
Obviously, most of my best friends are
totally
former military and all
hate
that
him,
shit.
right? And I get that.
No,
I get that.
I've heard. Here's what I've mostly heard from like my insider friends who were just like, look, he was mentally fucking off before he even joined the army.
Yeah.
Chances are, or the military.
And he had incidents.
Yes.
Where
and they said he probably shouldn't have passed and they shouldn't have let him in the military at all. But at the time, I guess, and again, this is according to my friends. I know nothing about, the military. Right. According to my friends, they're just like, man, they just should not have let him in the military to begin with. Mm-hmm. And at the time, though, they were looking for people and they just didn't give a shit. So they were passing in a bunch of people that shouldn't have gotten in. And, he was fucking weird and mentally off. And then this shit happened and whatever. But most of my friends have said the same thing of like, they just shouldn't have let that guy in the military to begin with. Yeah,
they definitely aren't of one mind, even like all the people that were in his platoon. So half of them feel one way about him, the other half feels the other. There's not one consensus of, even in the military, that they all hate him or they all think he's fine. So there's just different, it depends on, if your kid died looking for this motherfucker, you hate him. Right?
Yeah,
so
I would. If my child,
it's just there's different ways of looking at it. But yeah, mostly the idea is that he shouldn't have gotten in. He even had incidents while in that were, mental breakdowns and like crazy shit that was happening like in the bathroom, and they all had to like come and get him, and he had to like take a break. So all these things that they just sort of brushed under the rug. Right. But anyway, I mean, I don't even know. I don't know if we should even get into this guy. But basically, I'm re-listening to that because it was kind of boring the first time I listened. So the second time, it's definitely going to be boring.
Yeah. That one's the one you chose, huh? Not like an NPR. What is it? Fresh Air with whoever that fucking chick is.
It depends. Like sometimes those get interesting. Like if I'm interested in the person. I listen to Bradley Cooper's. Gosh, I love him again.
Does he have a podcast or was he just doing interviews?
No, he was doing Fresh Air.
Oh, gotcha. How was it?
It was good.
He's a stand-up
great.
Dude, man. There's nothing.
He is very the way that I thought he was, though.
Yeah,
which is
very actory.
Very actory.
Theatery. This is
very
important.
feeling stuff. He worked on his voice for a year.
I know.
Every day for a year.
Yeah. He's not what you thought of when he first started his career. Look,
no.
I mean, he first started his career as like Wet Hot American Summer.
Yeah.
Fucking Wedding Crashers.
Wedding Crashers. Like I thought he
Hangover.
was completely different.
Yeah, so did I.
Thought he was one of them. And then Hangover. Yeah, I thought he was just like.
You know when it changed for me with B. Coops is when I saw that footage of him asking Sean Penn a question on Inside the Actors Studio. I didn't know he was a member of the Actors Studio in New York. Where I was just like, oh, really? All right. Mm-hmm. And then I was like, you probably take this shit super over the top.
Super serious, super over the top.
I think that was my biggest issue with my classmates at NYU, where, I went there for theater after Ohio State, and I did not. Me and this other girl, we just, there was like I think only 20 of us in the program. I just did not get along with anyone in there because of that. Like all of them were just super theater, super wanted to talk about the process and all this other shit.
Well, just method in general to me sometimes goes
Method acting,
yeah. Where, if you're playing some guy that, camps, you live in a tent for a year and you don't have to do that.
Yeah.
My school of acting, basically, where it's like you don't have to do that. A little bit of that, a little bit of knowing where you're coming from and research for sure. But you're either good or you're not.
Exactly. Did I ever tell you about my first day there at NYU? We had this guy who was a teacher. He was a former director, and he directed a bunch of things. And like that was the cool thing about NYU is usually people teach, professors or whatever because they can't do. That's the old saying.
It's mostly true.
It is, except for at NYU, all of my instructors were successful. They just had wanted to retire in New York, which is rad. Where
for sure.
Fuck, if somebody asked me that after I was retired, and
maybe
like,
we
hey,
could do that.
Yeah, come in and do this. I would, just because it's fun, and
they wouldn't pay you enough though, huh?
It paid a decent salary, I'm sure.
Okay.
I mean, you're a professor at NYU, for Christ's sakes, but
I could do that real quick.
You would have, but here's the thing: to live in New York City, no, you could not live off of professor money. So you would have to be fully retired,
and that would be a little
successful,
extra.
Exactly,
right.
And that would be like, cool. This is going along with the rest of my retirement money. No bigs. I'm going to do it because I like it. That's the vibe I got from all of the instructors there. Like, one of them was Elizabeth Shue's or Andrew Shue's wife. She was a massive agent at CAA. Jennifer Shue was her name, and she was one of my instructors. She was one of the biggest agents at CAA. She repped the entire cast of Seinfeld for that entire run. So
rolling,
yes, money, and then her husband was Andrew Shue, and he had just come off of
Melrose Place.
Yes, it had just ended or whatever. So they were great.
And he's been killing it ever since, huh?
I know he's wait, you laugh, but I know he's doing shit.
I've not seen him in shit. What are you talking about? He
is, man. Look him up. Like it's mostly like USA stuff and like Lifetime shit, but he's always working, and I know he has a production company. Anyways, they got divorced.
What is Andrew Shue doing now?
Oh God. Siri's not.
We don't have schedule information for the next Galaxy game yet.
Yep.
They were defeated by the Dynamo on October 28th, 2008.
Not even close. Suri will never understand one of your questions. They get divorced. Anyways, long story short. Yeah, which is sad because he was cool. She was a smoke show. Didn't make sense. Something happened there. I don't know what it was. Whatever. But the other instructor was a successful director. He had a fucking ton of movies, and he reminded me of Mark Maron's character in Glow.
Okay.
It's very, hey,
yeah,
the fuck are you doing? The fuck are you doing? So he walks in and he goes, all right, everybody, we're just going to have a warm up here before we get started today. I want everybody to pretend like you're in a shower. Like you're scrubbing up, you're putting shampoo on or whatever. So I'm looking around me and I'm watching all these kids pretend to, wash their arms and their hair and all this other stuff. This kid starts crying. This one guy starts crying. And the professor goes, why are you crying? And he goes,
I cry in the shower.
I got shampoo in my eye. I got shampoo in my eye and I'm crying. And I'm like, you could tell this kid was crying just because he could cry. You know those actors? Like there's always that one kid who was just like, I can cry on cue. Isn't this amazing? No, it's not. So anyways, the professor was just like, okay. And then just kept breezing by people, asking them what they were doing. And I wasn't doing anything. And he goes, I don't understand why aren't you doing anything? Why aren't you participating? And I was like, man, I really didn't come here for this. Like, look, my parents were paying a lot of money for this school.
You're such a shithead.
No, I didn't understand it. And so, no, he stops the class and he goes, good. What's your name? And I was like, Ross. And he goes, Ross what? I was like, Ross Patterson. He goes, Ross Patterson is probably be the only one who's going to book a real job in film or in television here. Is if you ever showed up to warm up in an audition room like a fucking asshole, and this is literally what he said to everybody. If you ever showed up to warm up anywhere like a fucking asshole, like doing a shower routine or something like that, you're not going to fucking make it. And it was just, that set the precedent and the tone for day one. And I think everybody hated me after that. And
he positively reinforced you doing shit like that, which is why you do it to this day.
It's true. So, but here's the thing. And so here's what it taught me, like going through that school and all that shit. And like, he was a hard ass like that every single day. He never let up and he was relentless. And he would make, because you all had to do like the same performances and shit, and then afterwards he would tell the kids to vote aloud on who did the best.
Oh my god,
it was great.
Well, it
was great training for when I got to Los Angeles, because like it's so fucking cutthroat that you have to weed out all of this stupid shit. So I get to Los Angeles. One of my first big auditions was for a show called Boston Public. Mm-hmm. And I like the show. It's David E. Kelly. It was awesome. And I ended up like screen testing, getting really close. At the end, it was down to like maybe 5 or 6 of us for the role. And I remember walking in there, and there was a kid like over rehearsing his lines, like out loud, like acting it out, like super, like the kid who was getting shampoo in his eye, And I was like, all of the rest of us were looking at this kid like, fuck this guy. And you knew that guy wasn't going to get it. And sure enough, he didn't. Like, you can't do shit like that. Either you can do it, keep it to yourself, and that's kind of what it is, and move on about your day, or you can't. I didn't. But you know who did? Was the guy who played my best friend in The New Guy. This black guy. His name was Avery. Great actor. He's now like a professional commercial actor. He makes more money than he ever could making movies. He's in every gigantic commercial. He's probably been in 8, 9 Super Bowl ads. He's just crushing it at life. But he actually booked it over me. And we talked about it later on the set of The New Guy. I was like, remember that fucking dude who came in? And he was just like, oh, Christ. Because he had been in the business longer than I had. Obviously, that was one of my first auditions. Right. And he goes, man, every time I see a motherfucker like that, you just want to tell them just to get out of the room. Just go home. It's never going to happen.
You did that at home.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that's it.
You don't do it for any other job interview. Can you imagine?
No, but I think we need more instructors and more people like that in the world to help you out and kind of weed out these bullshit people or whatever. Like, whoever let Bergdahl in, you should find that guy and just say, hey, man, what the fuck did you let this guy in?
Yeah.
Like, just end it. Just get out of here. Leave the job. Like, we're all good here. You're putting people's lives at risk.
Yeah.
That's what I wish most of this, because we got a lot of emails after the last show we did about comedy and the way comedy's going, how everything's so non-PC and all of this other shit. I think it starts from what you're taught growing up, starting with the teachers through professors and all that shit. I think professors in college, and I think this is where the disconnect is. This is for me personally. I think for the most part, and you can either disagree or agree with me, I think for the most part, probably 90% of parents try their best, try to get their kids prepared. There's 10% that are probably helicopter parents who are always around them and all this shit, where you're just like, oh God, you can see it from an early age that these kids are probably going to fail because they're too dependent on their parents or whatever.
Sheltered.
Yeah. Whereas when I drop my kids off at school, I feel confident in the fact that the teachers know what they're doing. They're going to do a good job. I'm not going to fucking question them. If my kid comes home and says something fucking weird or whatever, and I said, where do you learn this? And he said, at school, then I might ask.
Sure.
But that hasn't happened in 2 or 3 years that he's been in school, right?
Right.
I think mostly going up through K through 12, you're probably good on all of that. Yes, you're going to have your shitty teacher from year to year, from time to time. I know I certainly had my fair share of mine. But it is what it is. You grow up and move on with life. I think the disconnect now is when you get to college and you feel so and for those of you who go to college or have gone to college, where nowadays most of the professors are just worried about getting their tenure so they have a secure job forever. So they're not going to push the envelope. They're not going to really try to fucking help you or, make things different.
That's how it's been since the dawn of time.
Yes, but it's only gotten worse now with like these safe spaces and all this other fucking bullshit. And I think it's changing the way, because let's face it, that 18 to 22, years of your life, 18 to 22 years old, is a super important mind-forming time in your life that's going to have a big effect on who you are as an adult. And I think that age, everybody, when you treat people like pussies and you're afraid of everything, or you're afraid to talk about your opinions or truths or whatever you want to fucking call it, that's what's affecting kids after college, where they've been so kid-gloved that everybody's just fucking pussies now. And everybody's insulted and afraid of everything. And that's just my gist when I was going through these emails talking about, everybody talking about the last show. I think that's where it's all stemming from. And now this next fucking generation that's coming up is just a generation of pussies.
Yeah, so I would contest that it's more important from 5 to 13, where that's the thing of like the bullying and everybody wins and this
you're right.
Super sheltered.
Yeah.
If this super sheltered thing, we don't want our kids to like feel any pain, any loss, any whatever. Like I hate to say you need bullying, but in the real world,
kind of,
people fucking bully you.
Yes.
Adults bully each other more than fucking kids ever could.
Yeah.
And if you're not ready for it, things are going to happen like, the safe space, or this thing of everything needs to be catered to me. So for example, if someone tells a joke, let's say somewhere, let's just say Louis C.K., right?
Right.
Then all these motherfuckers feel like it's for them. You know what I mean? It's not for you. If you don't like it, it's not for you. But or Victoria's Secret, if you don't like it, it's not for you. But this thing of everything needs to be how I like it, because that's how I've grown up. That no matter what, everything I see, everything I eat, everything I do, everyone I play with, like it all has to be for me. And if I don't like it, I throw it out the window because I'm a little fucking spoiled brat, right?
Yeah.
So it's that thing, I think. And I think it starts 5 to 13. I can already see our son, like where I need to put kiboshes on things and start to let him know that shit's not going to be fucking rad all the time. And when you get out into the real world, someone's not going to be there giving you everything that you want, making you feel happy and healthy and safe all the time. It's absolutely not going to be that way. And I think that helps a little bit with the guilt that we have, right? Where it's like, think about how our parents were. This whole helicopter, this whole making your children, and I'm thinking of someone specific in my life, but making everything so safe and perfect and great is a detriment, I believe. Yeah. And I don't think it's, college age or high school age. I think it's younger. I think it's ingrained younger. And when they get to high school and they have had trials and tribulations, not huge shit. I mean, don't fucking, leave them out in the cold.
Sure.
But they've had trials and tribulations and they're able to, let's say in high school, and they lose something, when they don't make the team, they'll be able to handle it a little bit better. And then so on from there, when you get into the real world and adults are mean, because they are. Yeah. And you don't get the job or you don't get the thing. It's not this thing of like, but I was supposed to have it.
Right.
No, you weren't. Nobody's supposed to have anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, it's true. And look, we ran into this a couple weeks ago. We have a 4.5-year-old, and he came home and was like, so-and-so punched me. And, he was crying about it or whatever. And he was like, what do I do? And I was like, well, fucking punch him back. I didn't say fucking.
I don't know if this is the best, but go ahead.
I think it is. And I'll tell you why. Punch him back. And the next time it happened, he punched the kid back, and the other kid apologized, and they moved on with their fucking day. We didn't make a big deal about it. Didn't make a big deal about it at school. Nobody else did either. But I think parents and everybody else is too afraid to say that, where it's like, that's real life, man. You're going to get hit. Somebody's going to pick on you. You're going to get bullied. And it's what you do about it. I've never, ever in my entire life been an advocate of starting fights. No. I've always had the same saying over and over and over throughout my life. I've never started a fight, but I'll be the first one to end it. Because typically people who start fights are bullies. And once you punch a fucking bully, they're not going to do anything after that. Because most of them are pussies. The one fight I've lost in my life was because I fucking started it and I was an asshole bully. And this kid kicked the shit out of me.
Right.
I'll never forget it. I was in 7th grade. And the kid was half my size. And I told him to get off, I was being a fucking big shot on the bus because I was a bigger kid and I didn't like this kid. This kid had said something to me and I was like, fuck you. If you want to do something, why don't you get off at my bus stop? He got out and, he got out and he was half my size. Kid was in Taekwondo or whatever. Literally, I didn't even get a punch off before he kicked me like 3 times in the face and I didn't see any of them. And the next thing you know, I'm on the ground just getting the shit kicked out of me. And that was a big lesson of like,
right.
All right, great, man. Chances are, if you're picking on somebody, be careful because you don't know who the fuck anybody is out there in the world. You know what I'm saying?
Right. I would contest, to say that, try and de-escalate with your words. But if someone hits you,
but there's a certain
but if
point
someone
where
hits
you can't.
obviously hit them back.
Exactly.
Obviously.
It's like that's the other thing is like if you get hit. And you try to de-escalate with your words. Chances are you're going to get hit again.
To that point,
exactly.
Before it gets to that point, find out what they're mad about.
100%.
Find out if you need to apologize. Find out what the fuck this guy's problem is.
100%.
And if he still comes at you, be ready to defend yourself. Basically.
Yeah. So that's kind of the method, or not parenting method or whatever. But that's what I want to teach my child is like this, because it goes both ways too. Like growing up too, everybody remembers that bully or whoever that fucking kid was,
right.
throughout your entire life.
Yeah.
A lot of people are either affected by it in a negative way or a positive way.
Yeah, man. I mean, half of our driving force in life is to get back at people that wronged us, right?
Yeah.
Of like the bully or the person that
your parents
whatever.
Or if you didn't like your parents or didn't get along with your parents or your dad
right, or that teacher
you,
that told you couldn't do anything, or the bully that whatever, like these are things that drive you forward.
Yeah.
And when you don't have that, you do get a lot of more lazy, more the world owes me more than I owe the world, and that shit is fucking ruining America.
It is. And like, you take what happened on Ellen today, right? People are bitching about Ellen because she had Kevin Hart on the show. And I think I didn't watch all of it, but I think it was the full hour. She had Kevin Hart on the show and she was asking him about what happened with the Oscars, right? Mm-hmm. Obviously he stepped down because people were bitching online about the jokes he had made in his stand-up routine in the past about if his son was gay and all this other stuff. Again, they were all jokes. And Ellen was polite to him and kind of came to his defense and said, I don't, believe you're a malicious person or anything like that. And people were raging against Ellen, where it was just like, you represent the gay community. How dare you? You should fucking throw them to the wolves.
Because it has to be for them. They can't just change the channel. Well, they can't just fucking not listen.
Not only that, but yeah, exactly. But
it has to be for everyone.
Here's what I enjoyed about it is Ellen is arguably the most powerful gay person in the world right now.
Yeah.
I mean, that would probably be a fair assessment.
Close second, Andy
in
Cohen,
America. Yeah, as far as the entertainment industry goes. Mm-hmm. And for her to even want to take the time out of her day for the entire hour and sit down and talk to Kevin Hart is at least someone that is open to listening to what their reasoning was, why they said it, what their rationale was, all that other stuff, and take the time to listen to people and their explanations and their expressions for why they did certain things. If you don't have any open dialogue at all and you just don't want to hear it because you're so fucking offended by everything, then nothing will ever change.
Right.
So to anybody out there who told Ellen to fuck off after that episode with Kevin Hart.
Nobody that listens to our show told her that.
No, and I'm sure. But, if there is somebody out there who is appalled that Ellen had Kevin Hart on the show, fuck yourself. I mean, really think about who you are as a person and whether or not you actually do want people to change or do want to hear their side of the story, because this is a clear-cut case of somebody who's actually physically trying to reach out and say, hey man, I want to give you an opportunity for you to tell the world, or whoever that you might have offended, your side of the story and why you feel like you said whatever you said, and move on with your life, and we should all move on with their lives. I think that was awesome of Ellen, and I wish more people would do that, but they won't.
Yeah.
So even fucking Colbert, because I think he's taken making too much money, or like the Trevor Noah, like why not reach out to Trump and have him on the show in a polite way? Not go after him. Just try to ask him honest questions. Yeah. And if you have concerns about whatever the fuck you rage about all day long.
They would never.
I know. But if you said it in a controlled, calm manner where you weren't going after people, I'm sure he would have an open conversation with you. Like when Trevor Noah had Tommy Lahren on, I watched the uncut version, which was like a half hour. The cut down version for TV was probably only like 14 minutes or something like that. It was a nice, open, honest conversation that was amazing, but it was a one-off, and I wish we had more of that.
Who had what?
Trevor Noah had Tommy Lahren on, but he's never done it since. He took so much fucking heat from it. And look, his bread is buttered by raging against Republicans and all that other shit, so I'm sure that's why he's never done it again.
Right.
But that was one civil approach to it where it was just like, oh man, that was fucking great. With Ellen and Kevin Hart today, that was fucking great. So I wish there was more of that in the world, but I don't think there's going to be, especially with the backlash from it. Like, fuck off, dude.
I just rewatched a Bourdain where he went to West Virginia, and he started out the whole, his narration in the beginning was just like, fuck you guys. I went there to Trump country. Or at the end of it, it was like, yeah, I went. Fuck you. Like, I liked it and fuck you. But he went down there, talked to people, had like conversations over food, like what I didn't think he would do. Remember, we were like, yeah, he would never, because he's so anti-Trump or whatever. And it was really cool. And that episode, I guess, got lost in my, my feed or my whatever, where I just didn't really think of it that way. But I rewatched it, and he talks to veterans. He talks to people that support Trump, people that don't, whatever, coal miners, people that want it to come back, and really had real conversations with people, and was definitely, the ending narration was, we're all just people trying to get through this world, trying to make money for ourselves and our family, trying to eat, and I really liked that, basically, which there does need to be more of that.
Yeah. And I think, in all the travels I've had, and again, like, fuck, man, that 2018 was a bitch for traveling. I went to a million different cities and all that stuff. And like, man, I went to all the local restaurants and, shit from like diners, drive-ins and dives, or Bourdain spots or whatever. Some people were locals that took me to their favorite spots and all that stuff. Like, I just didn't see the world as bad as the media reports it at all.
No.
Black, white,
and I think
everything.
That's what he saw. He finally did it, where he was saying, like, I'm live in New York, and we all believe that most people think and live the way that we do.
No. Yeah.
And they don't. And so for how much he traveled, it's crazy that it took his very last season to actually go into Deep South and really, really listen and look. And it's just like, dude, there's so many. I mean, that's why, for example, like Louis is going to kill. He's going to do a tour. He's going to kill.
Yeah.
He's going to pack them in and kill.
Yes.
Because the people in LA and New York don't understand that there's a whole fucking world out there that doesn't give a shit about the things that you give a shit about. Yeah.
And that's one of my biggest problems that I'm facing now is, so, with Matt's book, we finished this book a year and a half ago. It took 17 months to the Department of Defense, right?
And in that time, the world changed.
Well, that's, yeah. So the publisher, who's Penguin, got back to us and said, hey guys, because it's looking like a 4th of July release date right now. Simply because they were like, hey, we'd like to go back and reread this to make sure some of the jokes are up to date and all that other stuff, which I get. You know, that's fine. Like, you make topical,
that's fine.
You make topical references 17 months ago. Some of those jokes are old, and you know, whatever. You move on. Change those jokes and whatever. But some of the notes that came back were, you know, about things like about fucking or hitting on girls and things like that. And it was just like, oh, you know, the world is, one of the notes is like, the world has changed in the last, you know, year and a half now with the Me Too movement, and I think we should consider changing some of these references. And it was like,
fuck.
Yeah, I said fuck you. I was like, no, your world has changed. Like, the world
has
and
not most
changed.
Of America
your world has, because you live in New York.
Changed.
You live in New York and you live in this bubble, and you think that you know, everybody hates Trump, or you think that everybody cares about the, you know, every Tom, Dick, and Harry fucking Me Too story out there, when most people aren't living their lives like that. In all these travels in 2018, nobody ever talked to me about politics, about Me Too, nothing. No. Like, it was never any conversations about that shit. No. In New York and LA, you were living in a bubble that is dominated by those topics. And yes, to them, their world has changed. And when I read that Judd Apatow thing on the show the other day about Louis C.K., oddly enough, a feed on Facebook popped up a video of Judd Apatow masterclass. He's doing one of those master classes on comedy. Mm-hmm. And
Lord. Yeah.
And he's like, and it starts off because the first like 15 seconds played on my Facebook, and it starts off with, look, with as miserable as everybody is in the world right now over everything, we need comedy now more than ever. What? People aren't miserable like you are, because you're affected by the president, or you think you are, but the rest of the world isn't. The jobs report came out today. It was a record-breaking numbers. 312,000 jobs were added. It is the lowest unemployment rate since like 2008 or 9 or something like that, and it is the lowest unemployment rate for fucking Latinos in our country in the history of our country. We're seeing record-breaking numbers. Like, no, everybody's working. They're happy. Like, you're miserable because you're rich and you hate the president and you live in fucking Hollywood.
Right.
But the rest of America really isn't, man.
You know what's funny? A lot of comics actually are raging against his comment. As far as like,
are they? I haven't.
Yeah, well, I listened to a couple podcasts with comedians on it that were basically like, dude, you guys must have a beef or something. Like, Judd Apatow and Louis C.K. must have had some kind of beef, like back in the day, that we don't know about. Because to continue to go after this person, like, A, when they're down,
yeah, and
then B, when it's like, just let it. Like, why do you have to comment on it? You know what I'm saying? So it's funny. So people are just like, he must have wronged him in some way, said something to him before he went on stage or whatever, because none of the other comics give a fucking shit. Like, we're not tweeting about it. Yeah. Like, we don't open yourself up to that kind of hate, which, you know, and they all feel like he, you know, downloaded some code to get on stage. You know, he didn't really do it the right way.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Sure. So they all feel kind of the way that we were talking about at the last show, which is just like, I don't think he's the one to comment on a comedy and what makes things funny and what makes things hacky.
Yeah.
And leave him the fuck alone. Don't go to the show. He's not on TV. He's not putting himself on the internet. Other people are, which is another issue that comics are having, which is like, don't fucking film my shit and put it up.
Right.
It's a big no-no. But so
you almost can't stop it in today's society.
You can't.
The only one,
that's the other issue.
You know who does it is Chappelle makes you lock your phone in a bag.
He's going to work on some stuff. Yeah. He doesn't want it out there. And the other thing, and either does Louis, where he's like, if you want to buy a ticket and come see me, you know what you're getting.
Yeah.
I'm not on TV anymore. I'm not putting my shit on the internet. I'm not putting it in your face. I'm doing small clubs that you can either go to or not. You know what I mean? They know he's on the bill, or he's coming in or whatever. So he's doing it in a way that's very American, which is like, you don't all have to like me.
Yeah.
But the people that do, I'm going to give them a show and they can pay and come and see me because that's fucking America. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I it's funny thinking back to that Judd Apatow show we did a couple shows ago. When I really thought about it, I thought the same thing too. I was like, man, I wonder if Louis C.K. pissed him off back in the day.
Something, because he will not fucking let it go. Everyone else has kind of let it go.
No, and I bet,
in that world,
I bet,
especially.
Like, just, and this is a completely hypothetical guess. Like, I have no idea if this is true or false. I bet you if there was one person, one comic who does not give a fuck about Judd Apatow putting them on a TV show or whatever, it's probably Louis C.K. And I bet you Louis C.K. probably said, "You're a fucking shitty stand-up comedian."
Yeah.
I bet you
and
that
I've
was
heard,
it. At some point around town.
Yep. And I've heard he's made a lot of enemies. He was not a super nice guy. He wasn't what you would call like a comics comic, a friend, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
He would straight up, I think, tell you.
Yeah.
Judd, like, what the fuck are you doing here, dude? Do you know what I mean? We're at the cellar.
Yeah.
Go to your fucking mansion, right? Like, what are you slumming it with us? Like, you don't even have an apartment in the city, bro.
Yeah. It's you're probably
You had to fucking
true.
take your limo to get here.
Yeah.
And you've been here 3 hours early. I cruise in at midnight and they put me right up. Judd, go home, dude. Go home to your kids.
You're probably right, man.
Right? And so I'm sure he has some resentment because the way that he talks about him and won't let it go. It's also Trump. Like, did Trump do something? Does he say something to you in a hallway somewhere? Because that's the way he goes after Trump and Louis C.K. is like, there's some underlying beef. Because everyone else, I mean, besides Alyssa Milano, all these fucking other banshees, right?
Yeah.
There's something about the way he's going after these people that it's just like,
it's weird.
Did he push
super
you down
dark.
in high school?
Yeah,
Did he
super
tell
dark.
you? Yeah. There's some kind of residual. He's very jealous, first of all, of Louis, and then I'm not sure what his thing is with Trump. I mean, but
yeah, you know what made me happy though? We watched one of those end of the New Year's things, you know, and one of the resolutions by celebrities was Deborah Messing. And she goes, my New Year's resolution is to spend less time on Twitter. Because right now, I'm averaging about 8 hours a day on Twitter.
yeah.
You know what? That actually made me happy. I know I've talked about her in the past of like, just because I have a fucking blue check mark, she, you know, her blue check mark shows up in my fucking feed every day. Well, here's the thing. And I've said this on the show before. Like, all she does is post like anti-Trump shit all day.
Yeah.
I actually loved hearing that out of her mouth on that New Year's special that she spends 8 hours a day on Twitter. Do you know how insane that would make a human being if you had to spend that much time on Twitter every day?
You don't have to, by the way.
No,
but
you don't.
Yeah.
But knowing that she does.
And you know Alyssa Milano and all those fuckers
dude,
do
Melissa
the
Milano's
same
up
thing.
all night long. She's sleeping like 2 hours a day. She's got like three or four kids.
Freaking out.
Yes.
She's going nuts.
That makes me happy. Like, that sickness of them on Twitter, knowing that they're following all this shit, slowly losing their mind. Is it weird that brought joy to my heart?
No, that's great. But you know what? I got to take this thing off and we got to go. And
what time? I don't even know how long we've been on or whatever. I'll take it off right now.
We can go. I know that we've been on. I don't
know.
Feel because
Are you taking yours off? I'm taking mine off. Are you taking yours
off? Okay. Right. Well, I was going to say you got to do the Rev Fig without looking.
I don't even, I can't because I can't look. So we'll have to save that for another day. Holy shit. We've been talking for, I think, an hour and 15 minutes with these fucking things on. Wow. That's wild. That's weird, man. To do an entire show like that. Holy shit.
It was really weird.
It didn't feel like the show was that long either. That's crazy.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't even see how I looked. Couldn't mess with my hair, guys, which I'm sure you loved.
For Jessie Wiseman, look, we'll dedicate this. Let's do it. Let's do the revolutionary figure for. Now I'm gonna have to look this up because with no lie. If you're just listening to audio, we really did wear these fucking things the whole show, and I couldn't see shit. We're going to give this to the
Oh,
oof.
boy.
The new
Okay.
IMDb sucks ass. Fucking hate IMDb. I've always hated it anyways. Now I just fucking hate it even more.
Oh boy.
We're going to give it to Josh Mallerman, who wrote. This is a novel. He wrote the novel of Birdbox.
Really?
I didn't know that was a book.
How would that work? Well,
Actually, it'd be a great book to read.
yeah.
It'd be a fucking awesome book to read. Shit. Josh Mallerman, congratulations on writing that, man. This has become a massive like runaway hit, and
Even Kim Kardashian watched it.
oh god, 9 days
Yesterday.
later, yeah, exactly. I was like, oh my god, Bird Box, guys.
You know
Kimberly,
who
You're better than
commented
this.
that? Kimberly, though.
no, who was it?
Tegan.
No,
Yeah.
she
She said Kimberly. No. Kimberly. Everyone. Like everyone. Yeah. Hate that bitch.
Hate Christy teasing. She's good at Twitter.
She should, again, small doses. Just little responses.
She's good at Twitter. I can give her that. I can give Chrissy Teigen that. She's good on
at
Twitter.
a clap back.
Yeah, she's good on Twitter.
Just don't put her anywhere for long periods of time.
For the audience, I want to leave you with this. Again, I thought Bird Box was just an okay, like it was a fun movie, and I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was as life changing as
phenomenon.
all of this shit. I did like.
I
what?
just love that things that are meh
yeah,
get blown up by white people and then ultimately ruined.
and end up
Someone's
killing
gonna
people.
die.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone's gonna die.
Well, you and I lived. So for Jesse Wiseman, aka the Jables, I am Ross Patterson. This is the Bird Box, everyone.
Good night.
And close your eyes.